Okay, everyone, welcome to this week's Love meeting. And we've opened the call out to anyone who is standing and supporting for the general election. So before we get into the detail of how everyone's getting on with their campaign, any challenges you're facing, any tips that you want to share, before we do that, let's just come to the center, which is our kind of tradition, just to do a sort of 60-second alignment just by taking some long, slow, deep breaths in through the nose and blowing out slowly over the bottom lip, which has the effect of calming the nervous system. And as you're doing those long, deep breaths, consciously dropping from mind into the body, from mind into heart, calming the mind, opening the heart, coming out of everything that we were doing this morning, all of our busyness, coming out of all of the things we have to do this afternoon after the call so that we can be fully present in the now moment. So, would anyone like to share? I'm going to start with a rant of sharing the sheer frustration of dealing with the artwork checking of Royal Mail. I've sent it to the for the umpteenth time this morning. It failed first time because it didn't have election communication on the front cover, which I've never actually done on a leaflet before, and I've never been pulled up on it before, but this one has to. And we put it on, and then they came back and said it wasn't big enough, even though it was more than 10 points. So we've increased it to 14 points bold so that there can't be any doubt. And I've resubmitted it again this morning, but it was first submitted on Monday morning. So it's just been insane. Anyway, that's my rant over. But I am, it's almost like the system is determined to grind us down. And as Cliff said to me yesterday, I'm sure that all the main parties just get waved through because they're all, tickety-boo, and they've got loads of campaign managers to sort all this. So it's like we're caught in the weeds. Anyway, Roger, you've got your hand up, and then we'll come to Vanessa. Hey, Rog, you need to unmute. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, I've done that.
Cool.
Well, it's just what I wanted to say to Cliff. I expected that there was going to be a meeting on Tuesday, but there wasn't. That was with Cliff and his compatriot.
Cliff,
They seem to have
what
frozen. Oh.
what happened to your? You need to unmute, Cliff. I've muted everyone, so please unmute yourselves.
Things at the same time. There was a meeting, and the email was sent out to everybody, and I sent it out 5 times, I think, during the time. So I'm not sure how that happened, Roger. I do apologise if you didn't get that email, then maybe your email was incorrect or something bounced, but it was sent out by the person who actually set the Zoom call up, myself, as a follower. Yeah, 4 times I think I sent the email out, and I also sent it out via different email addresses to ensure that everybody could got it, because I found that a lot of people in my Greater Britain email was going to their spam, so I also sent it via my normal channel, my normal email as well, to make sure everybody got it. So I apologise if you didn't get that link. I'll double check
I always check spam. I didn't get it.
Yeah, sorry about that, mate. With it was a shame you weren't there.
So is there another one?
There should be, and we're just trying to organise that now. But I'm just putting together a lot of other things at the moment. I'm helping Vanessa out with her leaflet. She just sent me another, following on from Rachel's rant, exactly the same problems that she's in.
But they've got back to me less than 20. I mean, I sent it yesterday afternoon, so actually they've got back really quickly. So
yeah,
I'm not having
could you make
any
a favour,
trouble
Vanessa,
with.
and just put your borough into the chat for me, so I can just add that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
Already
I'll do
changed
it.
the font. I was just doing that to try and get it back over to you as quick as possible. But yeah, I mean, you've got to think that the large parties are fundamentally producing one leaflet. so they don't, they're producing one leaflet for everybody. So they just sign it all off. The whole thing gets signed off in one go. Basically, they're just changing names on a single template, whereas independents are, you know, they're they're all creating their own images and their own thoughts, and they've got their own ideas, and they've got their own kind of ways of laying it out, and they want to, I want this color, I want that color, I want this, I want that. So we're actually causing ourselves a lot of the harm, you know, in reality, because if we'd actually got together a long time ago and actually created a singular independent leaflet that everybody kind of agreed to, I mean, that would always be an issue. But in the parties, they have no right to, you know, they can't suddenly write to Labour and say, oh, I want to change the colour from red to a nice orange background, please. You know, they're just like, kind of, sorry, you do as you're bloody well told. So it's the fact that we are independent, I think, that's causing a lot of the kind of confusions. It's like, so
there may be an advantage, though, in that it will mean that our mailings will land closer to the election, which
that's my idea.
Can be an advantage. So I tend to just trust the universe that even though it's annoying, that we're in the flow and we have to trust. Yeah.
And I'd also, you know, not underestimate the advantage of actually putting some consciousness into your flyers before you deliver them to the post office. Put some intention there and hold them, and what do you want to achieve? See the end result that you want and put it into the flyers before you take them to the post office.
Well, they will be delivered on a huge pallet, aren't they, by the printer? They'll be delivered to the sorting office by the printer, I would imagine.
Well, mine's only 480,000, but it still doesn't mean you can't put an intention in it, even if you're doing it just in a bulk, you know, just whatever. Send the intention with those flyers to the post office.
48,000, I hope you mean.
48,000, yeah.
Yeah, that's a great number as well for 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were having this discussion, Cliff, weren't we, about, you know, consciousness and like having faith, and this theme has come up about visioning and the power of visioning. What we do want.
Yeah, and if we all collectively see us getting 400 independents into Parliament, there's a great potential that we can do it. You know, there's no limits here. We can do whatever we want to do, and, you know, have no expectation, have no attachment, just let it go. There's 400 odd standing. There's no reason why we can't get 400 in there.
Yeah. Roger, did you want to say something more? You still got your hand up?
No, I'm sorry. I should have taken my hand down. No. Thank you. I'll take my hand down now.
So just one.
What I was going to share was I've just spent an hour and a half with the creator of NPA, or creator and custodian of NPA, which is non-personal awareness. I'm a master prac in it, as well as NLP and journey therapist as well. But he just spent the best part of 2 hours with me, just going through, standing in front of people and having no agenda, and the agendaless way, and just being able to be bulletproof to any potential attacks, because it could well happen at the hustings, but just to be absolutely bulletproof to it. So I've just spent 2 hours with him, and it's been quite an incredible process.
Can you share any with us?
I can show you from my notes. So, you know, that we obviously can't really have a syntax for our meetings because we don't even know what questions we're going to get asked beforehand. But where did we start from? That he said, well, you know, we're selling, we're promoting ourselves. So what we're selling is that the investment in the voting independent, and that you know, to be very passionate about that in lots of ways, to really speak from our passion, you know, that to really get that we do get our constituencies, and that you know, we want to know how we can help them, you know, and how is what's going on in our country at the minute working for them. You know, we can use questions and sort of inspire them to start searching inside, you know, what is their pain, and what does this cost them, and then how can we help to heal that? What do they want to move towards? Really stay on getting people to start using their imagination. Go with the animation. So you know, if we're talking to people directly, if we can get that they're resistant to change, just let that be there and don't try and push an agenda on them. So let it be. So if the door's not open, don't push it. Excuse the language, but just try and stay away from wank language and cliches and all those little bits of stuff that sort of don't mean anything, if you get what I mean, and you will be pushed to explain. Try and be very real and stay away from the language that might well create a lot of resistance in people. I'm trying to see if we've got any examples written down here of it, but
corporate wank speak, it used to be called in my day.
Yeah, all that sort of stuff too. So syntax. So dropping all agendas in relation to you know, what people's life shit is, but it's just contemplate the questions and objections that we might, before we even go to any of our hustings, contemplate the questions and objections that we are likely to get, especially from our flyers. So in reference to what we might have put on our flyers, if people have had a chance to actually see them before we get to any hustings, because at the moment it might not be likely. But yeah, but don't do defense, or you know, stay out of defensiveness and thought, and really sort of like, I mean, if anything, can do a brief self-inquiry as to what is it about that where they're coming from in the first place. Try and put yourselves in their shoes. You try and be a facilitator towards clarity, for clarity in themselves. Yeah. So a lot of people are trying to find clarity as to what direction they're going in. It's really important that we promote, you know, I said to them, look, you know, if we can get 400 independent voices in government for constituencies, that's 400 independent voices in Parliament. That's 400 votes for the people in Parliament that wouldn't be there if we were under party rule, because
yeah,
they can't vote away from the. But so it's really just getting that over. So everything, you know, when subjects are coming up and questions are being asked, you know, really think, you know, how does this affect my constituents? Step out of it being personal to you, but how does it affect your constituencies? What do they want from you? You know, do they want more of this, or do they want more of that? You know, what they get them to start, instead of moving away from what they don't want, moving towards what they do want. Yeah.
Vanessa, can I just ask you a question, please? Have you been receiving loads of emails from people asking your opinion on this, that, or the other, on why should I vote for you, and what's your opinion on this, that, or the other?
Not yet.
Okay, because even before I was announced, and now it's a deluge. I mean, literally, my inbox is full, and quite often they're the same thing, like from pressure groups, the same question, and it's basically, I'm in your constituency. Before I vote for you, please tell me your opinion on transgender, for example, transgenderism, and do you agree that a man is a man and a woman is a woman? There's all this kind of stuff.
Well, for that sort of stuff, I'd step out of the agenda of transgender and just say, you know, we all have the right to be whoever we choose to be. I have no personal judgment on whatever you choose to be, or however you choose to present yourself.
Yeah, so
we all have choice.
This is what I was going on to, because I mean, I'm very much into common law, and obviously the rights of the people, because fundamentally the government cannot actually legislate to remove the rights of the people. So people have the right to do what the hell they like, as long as they're not causing harm, injury, or loss to another person. And so
Another person, yeah.
the interesting thing about all of these emails and all of this, like, it's like the government will take care of everything, and it's like they're all powerful and they can do anything they like. And actually, that's what I would love to pattern interrupt at the hustings, even though it might not win me any votes. Is like, when did you give your power away? You know.
But we have to remind people that, you know, these people are in our employment. We employ these people,
Yes.
and it's costing us an awful lot of money. What
Yes,
else
yes.
is it costing you to be employing these people? You know,
Yes,
you don't just,
right.
you're just throwing it back. You know, what is this costing you?
Yeah. And I do believe that we have to be prepared to pattern interrupt, even if it might piss people off, because it's much better, I think, it's much better to be Marmite than to dumb yourself down and try and be lowest common denominator and be wishy-washy. I think we need to be that pattern interrupt. It's hold on a minute, you know, when did you give your power away? Sort of thing, not aggressively, obviously, but.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, rather than say, when did you give your power away? Because that's like a direct statement of judgment. It's like, what is this costing you?
Yeah,
to give that power to these people? Do you think they've really got your best interests at heart?
Yeah.
You know, it's that stuff. And it's staying in your own power, in your own center, so that you're not knocked off your center when you get this stuff put at you.
Yeah, and I would mention as well, just that alignment I did at the beginning, just returning to the breath and the center, because it's very easy to be activated into a nervous system response, isn't it? Of being pulled off center. You're then in fight flight. Your breathing is, you know, and your frontal cortex starts to close down and you kind of lose the plot a bit. You know that feeling?
Take 3 breaths.
Yeah, exactly. 3 deep breaths in through the nose, out through over the bottom lip. Yes, Cliff,
I don't know why, but for some reason I can't find the raise hand icon, although it's normally under reactions. It's not.
It is, but it's at the bottom of the reactions. If you go into reactions.
Yeah, it's just not showing. Oh, got you. Perfect. That was me being stupid. So I'll take myself.
I'll lower my hand.
You've muted yourself now, Cliff, so unmute yourself and speak, please.
Yeah, I think that like I've said before, I think there's you know, this is part of the battle right now. I don't think this is the battle. I think it's part of the battles, and I don't think the battle's going to. What I mean is, I don't think the battle's going to stop. Basically, I don't think it's going to stop. I think it's going to be. It's going to continue. If we look at all the negatives, which we can, because if you actually look at 400 plus independents, they're the biggest party. if it was a party,
yeah,
we'd have the most candidates. That's how mad this is, and yet independents are completely ignored by the media, by everybody, completely right across the board. But like I say, if you actually looked at it purely on numbers, and independent was a party, then we would be the biggest, bar none. I mean, there's more people standing as candidates for independent than any other party. But it's looking at that and realizing that actually that's, you know, that this battle's going to continue, and then maybe looking at it and going, wow, we've actually got 400. There's actually 400 people that give a shit enough, realize that they're paying for it with their own time, their own money, their own energy, their own everything. There's 400 people who are willing to stand and put themselves through that situation and put their time and effort. And that is really powerful. That suddenly you kind of go,
and it's a statement that needs to be made in hustings as well, you know, that actually we care enough to have the courage, not bravery, courage, the heart to do this.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you look at it that way, you suddenly go, there's a huge amount of people who are fed up with the situation, system and everything else, and they want to change. So whether we get it, whether we don't get it, whether we
doesn't matter, let go of all of that.
It's of no consequence. I mean, the main thing is the people are starting to come together now and unite and be much more kind of coherent and see what they want and how they want it, basically.
It's my grounding here.
Mine's snoring on the floor. I put my hand up as I'm following the rules obediently, even though I'm chairing this, just to say that yesterday I did my first interview in a series of wildcard interviews. So what I'm doing is interviewing independents. So I interviewed Piers Corbyn in Bermondsey and Old Southwark, and I'm hoping off the back of that I'll get to Jeremy Corbyn, and I want to do Andrew Bridgen. I'm not sure about Andrew Feinstein. I have written to him, but there's talk that he's controlled. But Vanessa, I'd love to come to you and do a wildcard interview with you. And I like to do them in person as opposed to on Zoom. So I'm going to go tour around the country. I'm going to do Wesley as well.
I've got a spare room. You can come to stay with me.
Oh, cool. That would be great. And I'm just going to spend a lot of time like a bit like Cliff is, like promoting independence generally, because I do believe that it's this idea that there is this wave of independence that's like a tsunami that has the potential to sweep away the whole system, changes the kind of mindset of the local parochial. Oh no, independence, oh they'll never get in, sort of like, hold on a minute, let's pattern interrupt that old program. Yeah. Cliff, you're talking, but you're muted.
I'm gonna do a post on LinkedIn on that, actually, because it's a very important thing to raise, that we're the biggest party. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. The biggest party.
Haven't Cons got 650 standing?
Are they slightly bigger then?
The Con and Labour. I'm sure they'll have a candidate for every single seat, surely.
No, I don't think they have. Not for every single seat, no.
Really?
But I'll check on. But I mean, we're not even including Independence Alliance, Independent, blah blah blah. You know, I mean, we're not including. And if you include the Workers' Party, which are supposedly independent, and you include the Heritage Party, which are also independent, you know, if you actually start to look at all the
umbrella groups.
Yeah, the real independents that haven't actually got a party or a whip and all these kind of things. If you actually amalgamate those, you're looking at, you know, thousands of candidates across the country, literally. So it is there. It's just whether the UK public are awake enough or bothered enough to actually go and vote and trust and make a change. I mean, that's what it is. When we talked about that yesterday, and it's you know, there's still this diehard way of seeing that I have two choices and everything else is a waste of vote. And again, that was something they meaned everybody with over and over and over again, that it was a wasted vote if you didn't do blue or red. That was it. That was your choice. As we spoke yesterday, dumb or dumber. You know, which one do you want, dumb or dumber? It's as simple as that. So we fell for it. We've fallen for it for decades.
Yeah, Vanessa. We'll go to Vanessa and then to Brian and then Conrad if you want to speak, because I just want to get everyone on as well. Make sure that everyone's had a chance. So Vanessa.
Okay, it's just to say that David Clues from Unity News wants to interview me.
Cool. That's brilliant.
I've got other press want to interview me as well, but I'm letting them sit and wait for a minute. I'm not rushing to get in with them.
Okay. Yeah.
But only because they're mainstream media. You know, we've got Radio X and they're all sort of connected to. And actually, I'd rather just, when I'm ready, go and talk to them. Maybe they can see me at Hustings first, and then want to interview me.
Yeah, I mean, it is still quite early days, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm not rushing anything. I think if we just take everything in our own pace, no stress, it will all happen perfectly, and just trust, and it will all be fine. I mean, even getting this flyer together has been having to get through the people who are involved with me's egos as to what they want on the flyer, and been triggered by what I might put on the flyer. And in the end, I've had to take the lead and say, this is my flyer. This is about me. It's not about you. It has to be my words. I'm doing it this way. So I've done it. And with Cliff's support and help as well, it's sort of helped me gain clarity. In the end, I sat down, I think it was only yesterday morning, wasn't it, Cliff? I sent you the final bit, and I sat down yesterday morning and I just said, okay, all my ancestors, all my guides, just help me just compose these last few words, please. And I hadn't asked them yet. So I asked them to sit down and help me, and it flowed. It took me about half an hour, and I got it over to Cliff, and it was done. And I made the decision to say, this is the final cut. Sent it to them for approval, and they said, but we'd like my words. But you was talking about wishy-washy, and we can't be wishy-washy. We have to be professional. We have to be clear. We have to be succinct of what we're presenting with, so there's not too much for people to read, and they get the key points.
Yeah, I've sent that to the Vanessa.
Yeah, I've seen it. I will be here. You'll see me, but I might just dip out my emails and send it over.
Definitely 10 points. So if they come back to you and say it's not 10 points, it's 10 points. It's definitely 100% 10 points. So there's nothing they can say that they're wrong if they say it, and I can send them the PDF, the PSD, and everything else. But it's definitely 10 points. I've said it. So
okay, I'm just gonna. I'll be here and listening. I'm just gonna go and send it, so I've got it going back to them straight away.
Okay. Brian, let's come to you. Just how you doing, Brian?
Hi. Yes, not sure what I was going to say now, really. Yeah, I'm just being very supportive to you guys. Well done for your amazing energy, your smiles and your glows and all the rest of it. I feel a bit like a grumpy old man. I've got post-traumatic stress disorder, the way they've treated me. And I think I've got a claim for that. So, yes, I'm holding them to account. So, yeah, I'm putting it right in front of them all now. They have no legs to stand on. Yeah, I'm asking them if they've had injections and why they've had injections and why they're still not taking injections. Because there are people who have been lying, cheating and stealing, and it is in the mainstream. And these people should be held to account. So I'm up for any law, the good law, that's been taken away from us through treachery and treason, to come back. That's all that's needed. Yes, and cheeks of the same arse, isn't it?
Are you still in the are you still in, Brian, sorry, are you still in the hospice?
I'm in a different hospice. They put me in an old people's home. Then they've got Alzheimer's patients here and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm still feeling a bit trapped.
Okay, so
but I'm getting stronger.
Sorry, Brian, I just wanted to mention to you, because I went to the Philly J. Lay Barbara O'Neill event in London, and she was talking, and they had people coming on stage, and one guy was actually in a hospice and was completely cured. And she was talking a lot about that. So I'd really recommend you watch the live stream, the recording of that event, because she's a natural healer, and it was very interesting.
Yes, I've been very impressed with Barbara O'Neill. I mean, yeah, I've been going on the Waters Magic. Yeah, like we know there's Four Noble Truths. Yes, we know all this, but we've got to unite, haven't we? The world is changing. The world is waking up. We are waking up to the corrupt officials being unaccountable. And you guys are making a lot of sense. But it's about upping your vibration and being accountable and holding other people to account as well. It is no good them holding their heads in the sand. I'm calling them all out.
Yes.
Every level now that they haven't really got a leg to stand on. That's why they've moved me here a bit rapid, because I was sort of giving it to them, yeah, I couldn't say too much there because they do an amazing job, and it was end of life. Unfortunately, the protocols have changed, didn't they? A couple of years back, they would have ripped me off as a COVID death. They would have murdered me and ripped me off as a COVID death. Well, they can't do that anymore, can they?
No.
So yes, us grumpy old men have got a reason to be happy and up in our vibration because we are empowered, and all you've got to do is be in the truth, the honesty, isn't it? Because that's what we do. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Yes, I don't understand God, but it is natural law, isn't it? It's what all them sheeple think that they're under right now. Them
Brian,
sheeple.
Sorry, I just want to, like, just condense this down, just to ask you, have they tried to put you on an end of life pathway? Have they tried to do like the morphine, midazolam?
Yes.
And you've stood in your ground and you've rejected
Yes.
all of that. Good, well done.
Yeah. They had a great big syringe on my back at one stage when I was not quite myself, because I was very weak at one stage, isn't it, with this post-traumatic stress disorder. And my sister not helping at all in that sense. Yeah, pull yourself together. It's only fair, the usual stuff that people say when you're getting over all your addictions, isn't it? Just give up drinking. Yeah, just give up overnight. Just give up your alcohol and just do it overnight. Isn't it? It's simple as that, isn't it? Just switch your mind round. Yes, well, it's laughable, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
okay.
This is why you can hold them to account.
Okay, Brian. So I'm just going to mute you back and go to Roger.
One more thing, Rachel. Yeah. Thank you, Rachel, for your amazing input. I will do that Barbara O'Neill thing. I'm still trying to escape here and get into some sort of routine because I'm under the national health here and they haven't been good to me. So, at the moment, I'm trying to hold them to account, but it's a machine and it's a big machine.
Yes.
So, yes, thank you for all your help and thank you, everyone, for all your input. Well done for pushing forward.
Thank you.
You're amazing. You can mute me now. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, Brian. And I did want Brian to share that because this issue of NHS is a huge one in this election, and we need to be aware of, like, on the ground, like the levels of what is actually going on with people. Before we go to Cliff and Roger, who've got their hands up, Conrad, do you want to speak because you haven't spoken yet? Do you want to say anything?
I thank you for asking, and hello, everybody. I'm here more as a listener. Also to just you have often mentioned that you're into common law. I wondered if you got my email regarding William Keating. I think you'll find this very interesting as far as the law is concerned, especially when it comes to common. I actually go more into natural law and feel that this is the important aspect of our lives. Anyway, did you get that email, Rachel?
I don't recall it. Maybe you could resend it with love in the title. Are you sending it to me personally or to the Love Party?
To you personally. And I put in new inquiry, which according to your website says that if I do so, it'll be read.
I'll have a look at that folder. But please be aware that at the moment, I am absolutely deluged with emails. And Cliff told me off and said I had to take my out of email responder off, which I did, which basically it's kind of like everything is in my inbox and it's literally hundreds of emails of spam and inquiries and letters from constituents, emails from constituents. So there's a huge amount for me to go through. It's almost overwhelming, but I'll have a look at that. Okay.
Yeah, it's entirely up to you. I just thought it might be interesting because I feel that natural law has to be the basis of everything, and especially consciousness. And what's lovely about William, or Will, as he likes to be called, is that he takes natural law through the Constitution into consciousness. And this is the direction, as I think we all know, is the most important aspect of what's going on.
Yeah, I'm a
Anyway,
big fan of,
that's
yeah,
about it.
I'm a big fan of William Keat, and the key thing for me in common law is the trial by jury. I mean,
Yes.
just to mention this, an independent candidate in Northern Ireland has been put in prison for refusing to pay a fine related to COVID this morning of 200 quid. Put in prison for 14 days, right in this election period. I mean, the system has got to be at its desperate, in a state of desperation, that it would put someone in prison for not paying 200 quid at a magistrate's court, for standing in her ground. Now she clearly wasn't aware of her common law rights, because she should never have agreed to the jurisdiction of the magistrate's court. She should have said, I require a trial by jury. I do not consent to the jurisdiction of this court, because there's no way that a trial by jury would ever, they would have just thrown that out. I am absolutely certain of it. So we have to create awareness of just that simple thing. I don't consent to the jurisdiction of this court. I require a trial by jury is like the most powerful phrase in law.
Absolutely.
I'll have a look for your email though, Conrad. So let's go to Cliff and then to Rog.
I think Roger had his hand up before I did.
Rog, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I just want to say that I might get closed out because my phone just gave a message. Your phone is overheating, and then it closed the phone down. But I managed to get back on again, just basically to tell you that if it closes down again, well, there's nothing I can do about it. It was not voluntary. So that's all I wanted to tell you. So you might not see me again today if it closes me down again. And I can't seem to get onto Zoom via my laptop because whilst I'm getting to Telegram, I can't find the link to the Zoom.
It's
I
always,
could do if it was.
it is
if you
pinned,
sent
it is pinned to the top of the group, and it's always there, pinned.
Yeah, but I can't find it. I can't find it. You know, I've tried to get to the top of the group. It just goes on forever, just scrolling forever. I can't find it.
It's pinned, so you don't have to scroll. It should be visible.
Well, it's not.
Okay, all right. Not quite sure
So-
whether it is on mine. So
If you could send it by email, that would be easier.
well, I did. I sent a reminder. I do send a reminder. I was just a little bit late I only sent it at 11 a.m.
Yeah, you sent the reminder, but you, as far as I know, unless I look again, fine, I'm wrong. There was no link to the Zoom.
Yes, there was.
Oh well, probably I'll go to that again then. Okay, I'll go to that.
Yeah.
Maybe I missed it.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, you can get on with somebody else now.
Thanks, Rog. And I like your hair.
Oh,
Very
thank
smart.
you very much.
New
Yeah,
haircut.
I had it cut recently.
Very smart.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else want to say, Cliff? Want to speak?
Roger, you're looking good. Well done.
Well,
think-
thank you.
I like it. And more of it.
Thank you very much, Brian. Thank you.
Right, Cliff.
So you just stole the first part, which I was just going to say, Roger, you look great with your new haircut. It looks fantastic. But I actually wanted to speak to Brian because the system's there to push you into anger and fear, right? And fear and anger are their energy. And if you bring that into your body, then it's really not good for your health. So peacefulness, meditation, acceptance, it's the hardest thing to do. So I'm not, you know, I'm the first one to put my hand up and raising my hand as well. To realize that to stay in that kind of space of gentleness with yourself is very, very difficult when you're in the kind of situation. I'm not in your situation, so I couldn't even fathom what kind of space you're living in right now. But if you can keep coming back into gentleness with yourself, then it'll be much better for you. It'll be much better for your health and better for your kind of mindset. And also, you won't meet them with anger. You'll just meet them with kind of just gentleness, and you'll be in a space where you can actually speak much kind of more from much kind of quiet and from your heart. So you'll be able to speak to them from that space. Whether it will have any effect other than, you know, different to anger, I don't know, but it'll be better for you to actually come from that space in yourself. And it is very difficult.
But yes, you're making a lot of sense. Yes, that's all the sheeple have to deal with. That's why they're sheeple, because they won't deal with the fear and the trauma, as you said. But yes, I felt good this morning. The sun was up, and by the window here, the sun was coming through. I managed to get a better and the well-being and getting the reading, and I feel a lot better for it. So thank you for that.
We have some echo there because Rog, I think you're on twice now. So I've muted you for that reason. Okay, anyone else want to speak? Rog? Oh, we've got you on twice, Roger. So you've got... Oh. But you're muted because you were unmuted on both, and we were getting the feedback from the two devices hearing one another. Hence, so only unmute one.
Just so everybody knows on the call, I'm just producing. I've got 3, maybe 4 T-shirts that I'm producing, which are specifically for independent, with things like which have changed dramatically from where they were. So they're much more about positive thinking and dreaming big and things like that. So I'm going to be putting them on to get them live as soon as I can. It's what I'm working on today, to get them available, and there won't be any kind of additional cost. I have up the price by about 50 pence a T-shirt, just because actually joining Shopify and having it as a kind of platform is costing like 60 quid. So what I thought, well, if I put it up by 50p a T-shirt, then if we sell 120, then it's covered its costs for the time. And I've also got some posters from another designer that I've got that I'm going to be pushing out to everybody, so that hopefully people can print them off at home and stick them in their windows and say I'm voting independent. So we can just share those out and get people printing them. So everything's kind of done as it should be, so that we can start to have a voice and people can start to see that, you know, we're independent, not we're that in that mindset. So I think if we can all start sharing those and getting them out there and getting people to print their own versions, wear the T-shirts aren't any candidate specific. They're more about the movement and the fact that you can vote independent. So it's you know, if anybody can buy those, like I say, I'm not making any money from them. It's not there's no financial gain for me to have them. It's just I'm trying to do. I've done them on organic cotton, so it's a good cotton. So it's so they should be available in the next day or so.
Cliff.
Oh, can I just quickly say something?
Yeah.
Well done for that, Cliff. I was thinking of Forrest Gump. Shit happens. Yes, I wanted to say something about trends and fashions, and how you can't sort of predict these things. It is a natural occurrence. I know you can sort of try to build up a trend and set up a sort of system for that, but keep plugging forward and something might click that becomes trendy and fashionable, and that's what will move the mountains. It's when we all come together, grab a shovel each, and we can move that mountain because it is trending and it is trendy and it is fashionable, and the sheep all love it. And they're getting into the love because they love it, isn't it? So, yes, well done for that, Cliff. That's amazing.
Great, thanks, Brian.
Thanks.
Yeah, just see what I can do. So I think that's where we all are right now. Is we just have to do what we can do, and everybody can do their bit. And there's no big, there's no small. You know, there's nothing basically. There's just what each person can do within what they've been given, and that's their job to do basically. So nobody's super duper and nobody's rubbish. It's just everybody has to just get on with and just do what they can do within what they've been given as skill sets basically, and from there, all of that adds up.
Cool. Cliff, before we come to Vanessa, can I just ask you, would you like to do a little mini focus group via the Vote Love channel to get people's feedback on the designs and the colorways? Because I've given you my opinions, which you've kind of ignored.
Don't you go there. You ignore loads of things I told you as well, you devil.
I know, but I strongly believe that using the colours of the other parties is not a good idea.
That's not fair because you've just plugged your thought there, so that's unfair that you've done that.
Not that people won't
But
watch this.
you've swung people with your thinking. There's two different versions. So if people don't like the colour version, then there's a black and white version as well now. So I think that there's enough kind of choices, and the main thing is to get them out now. And I think it's the same with, I think we can overthink and overthink and overthink and overthink. And everybody's been caught off guard. We've got 3 weeks now before the election starts. So the main thing is to get them out there and get people wearing them and have as many people wearing them. And I actually think that most people will probably buy the white on black because
Can I just say, like I'm big on the rose, isn't it? Because it's the Fibonacci sequence. We are all the rose, you know, it's the spiritual. The rose signifies to me the spiritual nature of us all. But it has been corrupted by Labour, hasn't it? And the colours as well. Yes, they have corrupted. They have taken away. They have taken away so much from us, isn't it?
Thanks, man. Exactly. We're reclaiming the colours. That's what we're doing.
Yes,
we're reclaiming those colours.
Reclaiming the rose
for independence.
Not New Labour, for goodness sake. Yes, Tony Blair, don't get me started. Yes, taking the rose, New Labour, the monster, that fake war, anger. No, yes, so I can laugh now, isn't it? I've got post-traumatic stress disorder. I'm going to laugh about it because I'm going to get better and I'm not going to let it get me down. But yes, you give me hope. Amazing. Well done.
Cool. Vanessa.
Actually, I just was going to offer my services to Brian because I'm a practitioner of all sorts of different mind modalities, and one that's called NPA, which you can look up, Joel Young's NPA, and you can get the process downloaded and have a look at it yourself anyway. But I'll gladly help you with that. Gladly help you with PTSA. And I'm a herbalist and a naturopath.
Beautiful.
You want some help, just shout. You're very welcome.
Thanks, Vanessa. Beautiful. That's the spirit of this co-creative collaboration. I was saying to Cliff about the at the Barbara O'Neill event, it was there were hundreds of people there and it was packed. It was 90% women probably, and they were all kind of therapists, holistic people, and the energy and the camaraderie and the smiles and the joy and the vibration of that audience. Wow, it was just really brought it home that and they were all completely, obviously Barbara O'Neill speaks out, has spoken out about the jab and all the rest of it. So they're all completely on the same page as us, and just sensing into that energy, just that energy, imagining that amplified up and just being a wave of just like, enough of this bullshit. Like, we have had enough. We are choosing a different way to do everything: education, health, justice, government. I mean, that is the wave, isn't it? And it really gave me a lot of hope, being in that audience on Tuesday night. Vanessa, still got your hand up? Do you want to add something to that? Because you're in that world.
Vanessa, for that. Sorry to butt in there, Rachel. I just wanted to thank Vanessa. Yeah, I'm a bit of an eagle, flies alone, but I'm getting back into community. But I'm a bit slow with emails and all that sort of stuff myself. So I will hopefully catch up with you or get in contact at some stage. I'm Brian Smith Energy on YouTube, and Connect 369 Gmail, but I will find a way of connecting with you all. Thank you.
Fab. Thanks, Brian. Roger, you got your hand up?
Brian, I just sent you a private message in the chat.
Yeah, I just wanted to say again, I may have vanished because I got a note on the computer screen saying my internet is unstable. So that's all I want to say. If I could vanish. Now, can you believe that? Do you think this is coincidence? My phone overheats and closes down, and now I'm told my internet is unstable.
I think
is that
77th Brigade is trying to take you down, Rog, because you are a threat to the entire political and infrastructure system of the UK. We all have to be prepared for this, to be taken out one by one.
Well, I'm obviously very dangerous to them. A little old man trundling along on a mobility scooter,
It's priceless. It's absolutely priceless that society has got to the stage where an 80-year-old man on benefits is with a megaphone on a mobility scooter standing for election. It's got to a pretty pass when we've got to the stage where you have to do this to actually make a stand, and I think it's wonderful. So well done. And yes, they probably are trying to knock you off your perch, but don't let them.
I think so. I really think so. This happened to me the last time I was on. It's too much to be a coincidence. Too much. Anyway, I'm not going to waste any more of people's time. If I vanish, I'm sorry. It's not my voluntary decision.
Yeah, cool. Well, it's nearly 1 o'clock. Any last contributions or words? Anything you want to shout out about Cliff, for example?
Well, there's nothing more that I've got to say. I'm just waiting for a communication from Cliff.
Okay, thanks, Rog.
No, it's no. I think I think again, everybody just needs to push forward. I think everybody just needs to stay in a space of and it is really difficult. I mean, I've got a huge amount of things going on right now in my life that if I focused on them, they would cause me to go back into my old patterns and old behaviours and get very stressed out about different things. And I was fortunate enough to sit with Rachel for a good few hours yesterday, and it's amazing the difference it can make just to actually be with somebody who can kind of bring you back into that space. So it's just for everybody to kind of just realise this is just actually none of it makes any change. If you're alive and you can see the sunsets and sun and moons and everything else and get a bit of food, that's it really. I mean, do you actually really need much more than that to be happy and joyful and just kind of and no one can stop you from singing. So You know, so just sing and just be happy, basically. And it is tough, but it's doable. Doable.
Yeah. Thanks for that reminder, Cliff. Yes, I swung by to Cliff's allotment yesterday on the way back from London and interviewed him as our Dominic Cummings of the independent movement. And it was actually I'm editing it. It's an hour-long interview, but it's great, Cliff, to position you as you know, to your kind of views and the way that you delivered them. I know you're not a candidate, but I think that's really powerful. It was really powerful to hear that. So I'm editing that at the moment. So everyone watch out for that. But it's a really good interview, I think. And it's so funny at points. Just the insanity of the system. You really brought that out. So well done for that. And people, I'll put that on the Love channel when it's done. Maybe on Saturday, because I've got quite a lot to edit.
I really enjoyed it. It was a laugh because we just chewed the fat for about an hour, but we covered a lot of different bases and everything. So it was great fun. Great fun doing it. So thank you.
Yeah, cool. Okay, it's 1 o'clock, so I'm going to close it there. Thanks everyone for coming on. Please keep sharing what's going on for you, any challenges you're having, because we're all here to support one another. And have fun with it. Yeah, so lots of love. Bye for now.